Well, hey guys, I want to thank you for joining me this week on PlugMaster Ford. As many of you know, my good buddy Missouri Mike had a stroke. Spent some time in the hospital, is home now, and that's the purpose of this video. We're going to go and have an interview with Mikey. His speech is getting better. You will see in the interview that he still struggles with some stuff, but he wanted to do this. He wanted people to know how appreciative he is of all the well wishes. So I want to thank you guys for that too. So that being said, let's go to the treasure board. That's one board filled. You can see all the people who've sent in stickers. If you want to be on the boards here at the shop, P.O. Box 335, Seymour, Missouri 65746 will get you on the board, just like it's getting Ang the Relic Hunters, or Relics Hunter. That is pretty cool. It's a nice sticker right there. He sent a couple of them. I like this one because it's bigger. And also brought to you by the Treasure Guy. That is a cool sticker. Proud to be an American, and I'm in Patriots Gold and Silver Shop right now. And the final one for this week is 3D Outdoors. That guy right there is talking my business. Got him an AR, got him a fishing rod, and got him a metal detector. Gotta love it. Those three will go on the board with the rest of these here. And let's get on over to Mikey's house right now, and we'll sit down for a talk. Woohoo! Well, hey guys, welcome to the bachelor pad of Missouri Mike Clutter. You guys will get a kick out of this. So we just shot a whole long segment, and I went to check the camera, and guess what?
It wasn't on.
It wasn't on. Mm-hmm. It's a great interview. I wish you guys could have seen it. So,
yeah.
In fact, you know what? Hang on just a second. I'm going to make sure this is going.
Okay.
Because I don't do it the other way. I do it this way. And so, yeah, we are
live.
We are rolling.
Live.
No, we're not live.
Oh.
We're actually recording. So,
okay.
Anyway, guys, as many of you know, Mikey had a little bit of a episode over this last week. Had a stroke, yeah. And he is home now. He is doing better, much better. And I know he wanted to take time just to thank some of you for the well wishes and everything, and just we're going to kind of walk through kind of the events of what happened and everything that was triggered. And we'll get into that later. But I know you wanted to show your appreciation.
Oh yeah, I had so many people reach out for me, and over this ordeal, and just the community. Everybody was so grateful. It was just unbelievable. Just all of the well wishes, and I am on recovery, better than what I was a couple days ago, and it just so many people. It's a great community. Trying everybody. It's been great, guys. Thank you so much for all the help and all the well wishers, right, from all over the country. Just unbelievable.
And that's something I too want to thank you. Of course, Mike and I are like brothers, and not to put anything on me, but it was kind of hard on me as well. And I wanted everyone to know, hey guys, be praying for Mike. Here's what I know. Right. And I told him, I said, I'm getting thumb cramps just from texting everyone and voice texting, and and then trying to run my business and everything going on, and it was absolutely crazy. Yeah. And I told Mike, I said, Mike, would you be opposed to just doing an interview and just talking? And he said, no, I'd love to do that.
I would.
And so we let me explain to you a little bit about what's going on. So Mike and I went on a trip a few weeks ago, and as we left, Mike said, he goes, I think I'm getting a cold. And so it kind of started up, and we stopped at a gas station, and it must have been hitting you more than you were letting on because you bought some cold and flu medicine.
Right.
And so Mike's not one to complain. He's not going to complain. If you ask him if he's okay, he's always, I'm okay. And so he got his cold and flu medicine, and when we got to the hotel room and we stayed, he slept. And I mean, that's not unlike Mike. He's not opposed. He's not allergic to sleep at all.
Mm-hmm.
He loves his sleep.
I do love it.
But he slept more than normal, and I just thought, well, okay, he's just not feeling good. And so, we hunted, and for the most part, doing good. You were fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
And that 1 yard, you kind of had me help you up, which
right.
you could have got up, but it was just easier because I was standing there
right.
to help you up. Then fast forward a couple weeks, or not even a couple weeks, and Mike tries to go to work on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And has some issues.
I could not drive to work. I had the ignition in the car and tried to hit my foot into the
Gas pedal.
Right, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't go anywhere, and I was using the shoveler, the
stick shift gear
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, and I was backing up on the curb,
Mm-hmm.
trying to go, and I couldn't go. I mean, it was nuts, and luckily I was going through town at about 6:30 in the morning, and there was no traffic.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even. I mean.
And and so that being said, it's during this time that this stroke has either just happened or is happening.
Yeah.
He's not sure. He did wind up making it to work, but he backed up over the curb, right?
Yeah.
And he goes in and tells them something's wrong with me. I'm not going to be able to work today, and so they let him go home.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. I couldn't made any nodes.
Right. Yeah. Things weren't making sense.
Right.
And so I call him after work. After I got off, I called him on my way home, which isn't uncommon. We chat quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he was slurring really bad. His words were slurring. And I asked him, I said, "You've been taking your cold and flu medicine?" "Oh, yeah. Well, I just thought he took too much.
Mm-hmm.
But then something interesting happened. So we talked. I looked on my phone. We had talked 12 minutes.
Right.
And so 2 minutes later, my phone rings. And it's Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Hello." And he said, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" I said, "I'm still driving home."
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I'll explain to you what happened there, because when Mike had this stroke, the clot went into a part of his brain. It's so funny. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
So Mikey, I'm talking to him this is later at the hospital, and he's trying to. I'm getting all my information that I'm trying to get all to my friends and all his friends. I get all my information from Mike at this time because I don't have his mom's number and I can't. So I'm really getting everything from Dr. Mike, and you guys know how that goes. So, and so Mike tells me, he goes, and he's talking. He's not talking as good then. So I've got 3-inch in my head. I said, "Well, that's your brain."
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun with Mike during that time, and I figured, he needs that. I mean, what's happened, and that's one thing about Mike. What's happened has happened. Mm-hmm. Let's go from here on, and that's the focus. And so, so he's got like a 3-inch long spot that or damage in his brain, and it's in the frontal right, and so it affects his memory. Now, Mikey knows he dodged an extreme bullet here,
very, very
with this stroke, and so. It anywhere else in the brain, anywhere else. I mean, could have caused paralysis, could have caused a heart attack. The stroke, honestly, has impaired your speech a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's because his memory, where this is in his brain, is his short-term memory.
Right.
And so he has trouble communicating. And he said this. He goes, "It's really strange." He said, "In my brain, it's saying it right."
Right.
But getting it from the brain out the mouth,
Right.
which is no different than normal.
Not
really.
No, it's not bad. Yeah.
He's had trouble before with that, but all in all, now here's something we do want to talk about, because a lot of people, you haven't had the best diet, you know that.
Oh no.
But during this time, I want to kind of back up. During this time that he's in the hospital, he gets tested for COVID-19.
All right.
And it's positive.
Yep.
Now, he was on the far end. Now, he had told me earlier in the week when he was staying home from work and everything like that, he said, I think it could be the COVID.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, they confirmed that he had COVID-19, and this, according to the doctors, stated that the COVID-19 was what caused him to have that stroke.
Right.
Not that it escalated it.
Right. It was hard.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe he would have had a stroke 2 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but the COVID-19 is what escalated it. Is what, and that's something that a lot of people don't know about COVID-19. Now, Mikey wears a mask, at work all the time. He has to, and so. It's hard to say where he got it. I had already had it, and so I'm not as a risk as far as that. And so anyway, so we fast forward now. We're talking, and you're having trouble speaking,
right,
at first, but it's continued to get better, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a lot better than what it was. I mean, yeah. I still have a lot of words that are trying to get out, and it takes me a little time, and sometimes I get a little frustrated with the words. Right, trying to get the words better.
Yeah.
And
and that's stuff that will take time, and just like that, where he hesitates and he thinks about it.
Right.
At first it was, there was a lot of, and you guys that know Mike know he's stubborn, and he's going to keep on and keep on and keep on until he says that word.
Yeah, until I get it out.
And so I like to jump in and help him all the time, which I've done for years. It's not, I always tell people, I go, listen, I'm fluent in Micanese,
right.
And so now I'm having to learn this new lingo of Micanese, but for the most part, I can finish his sentences for him.
Pretty good. Yeah, you've got it.
You know what? So we don't sit here and go another 20 minutes talking and not get it recorded. I'm going to check real quick.
Okay.
Just make sure that we are still recording.
All right.
And we are, and that is just fantastic. So I just didn't want to do that again, because guys, we just did a 12, 13, 25 minute.
25 minute trip.
Yeah, and we talked about a lot of things, and so Mike knows, like I said, that he's dodged a bullet. So what are the doctors? Now, here's what's great about it, because he showed enough improvement from time he had the stroke and in the hospital till when they released him from the hospital,
right,
that they did not assign him a speech therapist.
Yeah.
Because they said, we've heard you speak before, Mike, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But I guess, of course, they deal with stroke patients, and he's expected. Did they say a full recovery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, expected to make a full recovery even without therapy. So this is something, the spot, and we talked about that. The spot was about 3 inches. It could be 2.5. It could be 2 now.
Yeah.
The body has a wonderful way of healing, and of course, with all the prayers and everything that everyone sent,
so many great people.
Mikey's got a great shot at just getting this all done. So he's, even when he was in the hospital, he said, let's go digging Monday.
I'm ready.
And so
I actually had whenever I was in the teach, and they had a feather, and I had to understand that was a feather. I learned that.
Just a picture of a feather?
Yeah.
You didn't know it was a feather before you went into the hospital?
Well, after I was already there, I knew it was a feather.
Feather.
Feather, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't know it was a feather when you first got there.
Right. Then I figured out that and a cookie jar.
Yeah, I'm sure you know what a cookie jar is. That's something that you can't wipe from his memory.
Yeah, I can't have that. No more cookie. But
Yeah.
that was.
So let's talk about, and again, we know that the COVID-19 kind of kicked this up. You have dodged a bullet. You've gotten through that.
Right.
Let's talk about the future for Mikey, because Mikey's got to have a little bit of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
First off, we're changing diet.
Definitely.
And if you had stock in salt companies,
Yeah.
you should have sold it, because
Yeah.
Mikey's cutting out salt.
No more salt.
And that was
Really.
a big hit to the
Yeah.
salt companies.
Yeah. Like ball and juggler.
Yeah, he was like peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
on is how thick his salt
Yeah.
was on
Yep.
stuff. And so doing that, drinking the water, you
Right.
know, just making sure, just keeping the body going.
Right.
You know, both of us have talked about losing weight, which is, and I come from, you know, this was it was kind of hard for me as well. I'd lost my brother a couple years ago to a stroke, and so, you know, Mikey is that brother to me here, and so, you know, I had, when it first happened, it was like, okay, and you know, but then I talked to him, and I was like, okay, all right, okay, he's gonna get through this, but you know, it's not always the first stroke, but it can be the follow-up strokes, and so that's why changing the diet, getting off the
Right.
salts, and making sure
And
that
Epsom.
baby aspirin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have that.
I told y'all I spoke Myconese. I
Right.
could finish any sentence.
Any
Sentence. So, but yeah, so Mikey's, you know, gotten on the baby aspirin to thin the blood and do things like that, and so, you know, all in all, he said it's a wake up call,
It is.
and he's going to, you know, make the changes. I'm going to help him to be accountable on that as well.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
You gotta be. I mean, you got a lot of digging left.
Yeah,
You know,
a lot
you
of
gotta-
digging left.
You gotta go out.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, normally, you know, we've been going to England every year.
Right.
It's a trip we absolutely
Love
love.
it.
And you know what? I mean, the digging's fun, but it's just the trip. It's
It's
so
the
much
trip,
fun.
yeah.
And last year, we did the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
Actually, that was this year.
Yeah.
That was early this year.
Yeah, in February.
And we did the Dirty Dozen trip, and that was so much fun with all of them, and would love to do something like that again. But the gentleman that hosts us isn't doing tours next year, so we've been kind of looking at different things. I know Mikey had mentioned maybe Scotland, but there's other countries that the Roman Empire stretched up to, which
Right.
would be fun to look at as well. Mikey dug his Roman gold, so
Right.
that was a wonderful trip for sure.
That was unbelievable.
He was sick then too.
I was thinking, but I mean, just the whole thing. I thought it was like
He said, "This isn't trash, is it? Is this trash? Is this trash?" And I turned it over, and what did I say? We need to sit down.
Yeah.
So, and that was fun, you know. And you know, that's a great thing about the hobby that we share, is sharing time with friends, seeing things that they, you know, I couldn't have wished for anyone else to find that gold coin than you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, and that's, you know, that's just one part that we, you know, love about this hobby. You know, we've talked about before. I know this is something we covered in our interview that didn't get recorded.
Right.
We have a lot of people that say, you know, since we've switched over to the Amphibio machine, that our silver count has gone down, and it has to a degree, but it hasn't gone down because of that machine.
No.
It's gone down because we changed what we do.
Right.
And you know, we could go out. I mean, not to sound like we're just silver kings, but we could target yards that would have more silver
Right.
than the ones we're hunting. The ones we're hunting are the ones that are really old
And
have probably been
hit
hit
And
before.
we're still finding stuff there.
And that's one thing about that Amphibio, it goes deep.
It will actually get you the better, you know, two or three two or three good coins.
Right.
We'll make it.
And ones
Yeah.
that either someone missed or they couldn't reach.
Right.
And that's what we have found, you know.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a little bit harder because we have to dig a lot deeper holes
Right.
than we're used to.
Yeah.
But we are enjoying that. Let's not make this about an amphibio commercial, but I
Right.
just wanted people to know that, you know what, we love old. We love Indians
Yeah.
and that.
Indians,
and so that's
yeah.
been our focus. They didn't have as much silver out there as, you know,
Right.
they did in the 30s and, well, not the 30s really because of the Depression, but in the 40s and so
Right.
on, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out
Like
because
barbers and the seated.
Yeah,
And the,
yeah.
You know, the older coins. That's what we're in it after. You know, the older stuff.
yeah,
You know.
and so we enjoy that. So anyway, got anything else you want to talk about?
Mm-mm. No, just the.
Are you gonna give me a sticker for the board?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a Yep.
Missouri Mike sticker.
Missouri Mac cutter.
All
Yeah.
right. So next week, after this video, that episode is going to be brought to you by Missouri Mike, and it's probably going to be the hunt that we're on right now as you're watching this,
That's right.
because Monday we are going digging because Mikey's through with his quarantine and all
Right,
that, and
right.
so
Yeah.
no longer contagious
Yep.
if all that. So
And I know that, like, we have been so many great places to hunt with so many people
we have.
and so many good people out there have you know.
And not only welcomed us in, I
Right.
mean, you think of I mean, Seth Newkirk, you know,
Right.
Can You Dig It? This was before he had a channel,
Mhm.
had us out. We had fun. Derek Ridlin, who's
Right.
just a great friend of ours.
Yeah.
You know, you think out on the East Coast, you look at Jason and Doug and Kyle
Mhm.
and Paul and Charlie and
Right.
I mean, everywhere. You think of Riley Bryant down in Memphis and Matt Howell. I mean, all the people, Loy and Tennessee Jeff. I mean, we have
Right.
hunted with so many great
So
people.
many great
not
people.
counting the whole group we took to England, which
Right.
was so much fun, you know.
Yeah.
And we love when people come in and hunt with us. Preacher Digger's done it, you know. We've
Right.
had people, and not even YouTubers. Like, remember we were in Kentucky,
Mhm.
and I'm hearing somebody
Yeah.
talking. I
Oh,
look
yeah.
up, and it's
Yeah,
this
they
couple is Randy and
stopped,
Cheryl Combs,
Yeah,
and it was
and stop the car, right?
right.
Yeah.
And that was so nice. I mean, we
It was-
enjoy that so much,
Yeah.
seeing people,
Yeah.
and just, you know, from all across the country. It's just, you know, this
And-
community is special,
Special.
and we.
Oh, it's so
And
many great
that's
people.
quite evident just from all the well wishes
Oh,
that we
yeah.
got, and so thankful that Mikey has dodged that bullet,
Yeah.
and so anyway,
Many more digs.
many
that's
more
for sure.
digs. I thought you were gonna say years.
Well, hopefully.
That's how you just count things, like, you know how dogs have dog years.
Yeah.
You count them dig years, don't
Dig
you?
digs. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good.
And I know from all the time that we've been out hunting, I have seen so many great cities.
Mm.
You know,
I thought you were gonna say that I've never won Weedy King.
no, I'm never. One time, I got close once. Remember?
We have. I mean, we
Yeah.
did. You know, one of the things I really enjoyed is think about when we were in Philadelphia and Doug took us around touring.
Oh yeah, the
I
humidity bill.
Oh yeah,
The humidity bill.
Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
What was that?
Humidity bell.
The humidity bell.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
humidity
humidity
bell.
bell. You know,
Yeah.
with crack in it.
Yeah, had to hold it right there. But yeah, just so many different places of the
We
country
have.
that there.
Yeah.
We've been up to New York
Yeah, we've been
and
to New York.
there and
And the number of states, we counted up one time. It was
Oh,
pretty ridiculous
yeah.
how many states we.
Yeah.
But what was even more ridiculous were all the states we want to.
Right.
We want to go out nugget hunting sometime out west.
I'd like to go to Australia
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
We would.
with the
for sure.
snakes and the.
I'm out on the snakes though.
Well,
They got like
the little bitty the little staters.
I'm having trouble on that one, Mike.
Uh,
Tasmanian devils,
but what are they?
scorpions,
No.
spiders.
Uh-huh.
Okay, spiders.
Straight
Yeah.
spiders.
Spiders. Watch out for that spider. Yes. The snakes I got, I can figure out snakes. And I thought that was
Well,
scorpion. though,
I
for
couldn't
sure.
figure. I couldn't figure the. I knew what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
I know it's,
Yeah.
it's nothing unusual
Yeah.
though. So.
No.
Anyway, well, Mikey,
All right.
I want to thank you for doing this, and
I appreciate
hopefully, guys, you'll see how Mike's doing. He is every day he's getting better.
Better.
He talks more and more. I mean,
Uh,
that's what Derek said, or Seth said. Seth said, I sure hope he can get back to normal. And I was like, well, that would actually be unnormal.
yeah.
So,
But it's been great. But I sure do thank everybody for all the word wishes.
well wishes.
Yeah. For all of the support and all of the help.
And if
I
you
will hope to
see, and if you see Mikey eating a pastry, slap him.
That's right. Got to get it.
And salt, you
No
drop
salt.
kick him.
No, I got a left beak. I got a,
You got what? Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was where you were going.
Yeah.
So. All right, Mikey. Hey,
all right, buddy.
thanks for being on.
All right.
And well, we're out hunting right now, so this is kind of weird to even think about. It's like a Bermuda Triangle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Gonna get it.
I'll see you next week.
All right. That'll work.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.